Hello, everybody. I am 10 Tampa Bay sports anchor David Shealy. The Lightning season is over. Fantastic regular season. 106 points in the regular season, one of their best in recent years. But for the fourth consecutive season, it's a first-round exit for Jon Cooper's group. This was an odd Game 7. It was one that fans were looking forward to, no matter if you were a Habs fan, a Bolts fan, or just a hockey fan in general. Everyone was looking forward to this Game 7 because this series has been so tightly contested. But it was weird because the Canadiens only had 9 shots. 9. And they won the game, 2-1. The Lightning had more than double the amount of shots that Montreal did, and they lost. And that's just hockey sometimes. Jon Cooper and Brandon Hagel spoke to that after the game.
You know, it's not the movies. It's not something where you can retake it and get the scene right. It's live theater right there in front of you, and you never know what's going to happen. That's why it's unbelievable to be a part of something like this. But it damn well stings when you're on the wrong side of it.
There's not much more you can do. You give up 0 shots in the second period, 3 shots in the third period, and you lose a hockey game. You can't look at one guy in the room and say you didn't do your thing. Yeah, well, I guess we didn't score more goals, obviously, but it's a tough feeling, but that's the reality of hockey. It's Game 7, you lose, you're out.
Cooper and Hagel also were part of the gold medal match between the USA and Canada in the Olympics, and Team Canada played a fantastic game. However, they got goalied, and they ended up losing that and had to settle for the silver medal. Same kind of feeling here, losing Game 7 at home after playing a really good hockey game. But sometimes bounces just do not go your way. You got to give credit to the netminder from Montreal. Dobish, he was fantastic. A rookie goaltender holding it down between the pipes. And look, when you got a guy who can just stop shots, he's not letting a lot behind him, you've got a chance. And that is exactly what happened for Montreal. And also they got some lucky bounces. They got help from the Lightning to score twice in Game 7. The first goal went off of J.J. Moser's leg. The second goal was off the back of Andrei Vasilevsky. I mean, it's not like it's their fault. They weren't trying to put it into their own net. But, you know, that's what hockey pucks do sometimes. They just bounce off of things, and sometimes they find themselves in the back of the net. In basketball, we say ball don't lie. Hockey pucks lie. They lie a lot. They're habitual liars. And I think when you look at just the statistics of the game, you would say, 9 shots in a Game 7 on the road? No way Montreal won. But a puck will say, nah, it went the other way. So, yeah, it's just surprising and shocking. It's hard to really believe that is the result. But it is the end of the season for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And looking back at the entire series, the Lightning were not good at home. 1-3. Home ice advantage, right? But 1-3 inside Benchmark International Arena. They have not been good on home ice in the playoffs in recent years anyway. And what we've seen from them is a far cry from what we saw at the start of this decade, where the Lightning went to 3 consecutive Stanley Cup finals, won 2 of them. Far cry from that being axed in the first round for the last 4 seasons. There wasn't enough from Nikita Kucherov, wasn't enough from Braden Point. Obviously, there was no Victor Hedman. Dominic James was probably the best player for Tampa Bay in the latter half of the series. Brandon Hagel, for sure. At the start of the series, he was the best player on the ice. But Dominic James was the one who was really stepping up. And, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. So now we go into the offseason and we're wondering, well, what do the Lightning do? They're going to have some money to play around with. First order of business, Darren Raddysh has to get extended. He's going into free agency. He set the single-season record for goals by a defenseman. 22 goals by Darren Raddysh this year, 10 of them on the power play. He definitely has to be coming back. Also, will Julian Breesball create an extension for Nikita Kucherov? Because next season is his last under his current contract. Can't really call it from here. I just know that the first order of business, Darren Raddysh has to get some money. That man has earned some money, life-changing money, that is for sure. ultimately, somehow, some way, Julien Brisebois, with not a lot of draft capital, by the way, has to try to rebuild a Stanley Cup contender. And that's what they've been trying to do. Look, 106 points in the regular season, they looked like a Stanley Cup contender. It's just that when the playoffs started, that kind of went out the window. Part of that, I think, is because of the structure of the playoffs. I like 1 through 8. I know some people like how it is now because of these heavy matchups. You know, you don't get a Tampa Bay and Montreal, and then a Montreal with Buffalo. You don't get that in the first, 1 or 2 rounds unless it's the current structure. But 1 through 8, I think just, it makes more sense. So that way some of these top-heavy teams with 106 points like Tampa Bay and Montreal can meet later in the playoffs and not have one of them eliminated in the first round, because this series was cinema. It just wasn't a happy ending for Tampa Bay. So season's over. It's going to be a long off season. We do not know who all is going to be coming back. We also are going to find out in a couple days what the injuries were. This is something Julien Brisebois does every year. He brings out a piece of paper and he lays out all the injuries guys were playing through and the injuries that kept guys out. So we will probably hear about the things that Dominic James or Braden Point, if Nikita Kucherov was playing through something, if Brandon Hagel was playing through something, what was going on with Victor Hedman, not the personal matter, but just injury-wise that just kept him out. And the only chance for him to have played in the postseason was if Tampa Bay advanced. So we're going to find that stuff out. We'll make sure we give you all those updates right here on 10 Tampa Bay.